I don't know if this is working. Um, let's see. It's working. Better be working, right? Um, I guess it's working. What up, everybody? I haven't done a video like this in a long time. Um, it's early in the morning on the East Coast, and I wanted to bring you this video. I guess it's gonna be a video. Um, I do hope I'm getting recorded. I wanted to bring you this video. I haven't done a video like this in a long time. Probably look tired right now. I see myself. My eyes are getting baggy. Um, haven't gotten enough rest. Um, what was I saying? In this video, we're gonna talk about um, everything that's going on with this whole coronavirus pandemic lately. And I know you are probably tired of hearing this. Um, but in this video, I wanted to address every type of theory or conspiracy theory that um, has been uh, put out. Um, and that includes that coronavirus or COVID 19 is actually a biological weapon of mass destruction. I made a video in regards to this theory. The second theory that David Icke has been presenting lately is that there is no such thing as coronavirus, or there is, but it's not what they have been telling us it is, and that actually 5G is causing all these health problems. There's also a theory that Trump is fighting the deep state by rescuing all the children that were kidnapped throughout the years and kept in underground tunnels in such cities, and mainly such cities as New York. Um, there are really numerous videos we see out there with medical personnel, dancing and such. Of course, you could say, they're just trying to get through this time. But on the other hand, if you think about it logically, if they are so overwhelmed, how do they even have the time to be dancing and such? And the reason I wanted to talk about these theories is I want to ask you a question. Does it matter? Does it really matter? I didn't do an intro, so put up YouTube. As always, shout out to my beautiful wife, Romaniya. To my mother, to all the mothers, Mother's Day is coming up. Like I said, it's early morning on the East Coast. I just got done recording a track. I really hope this is recording my voice, man. That will suck if it's not. Um, so is coronavirus really going on? Are there people really dying at these alarming rates that we have been told? I made numerous videos in regards to this topic. If you look at the numbers of deaths in Italy, in Spain, in the United States, the top three countries with the biggest death toll, if you compare the numbers of this year's with the numbers of last year's of each of those countries, you will find out that the numbers are not greater, meaning the same amount of people, even less amount of people in total have died this year than they did last year. Some of you might say, we were on lockdown, cars are not driving, people are not killing one another, so on and so forth. But With the pandemic this great, as we have been told, great enough to shut down the whole world all at once. And now we get to find out that these numbers are not, thank God, are not more than, let's say, the death toll of last year and the previous year in those three countries, the top countries. You ask yourself, were we really supposed to be locked down to this extent? And if we weren't, why were we? The theory that this was a biological weapon released from China, that theory is kind of going in a back burner now because obviously we would be seeing a lot more deaths. Was there a virus released from China? Yes, there was a virus released. But who cares? I'm going to get into why I say that. David Icke is telling us, if you guys have not followed up with it, David Icke was on a London Reel with Brian Rose. He said a lot of things. He's saying the virus doesn't exist. If you have followed David Icke all these years, he's been releasing all this information about um, the powers that be being another life form, which he calls reptilian, so on and so forth. If I was Brian Rose, I would ask David Icke, if they were really afraid of the information that you are releasing, why wouldn't they take you out? Now, of course, I'll be the first one to say that your ancestors, David Icke's ancestors, God, his angels are on his side. Nobody can take you out unless it is your time. But wouldn't they at least try? They haven't. You know why? Because they want David Icke to write about and talk about what he has talked about. Because with the information that he releases, it causes more fear and panic, even though he has been talking about celebrating yourself, so on and so forth. Whenever someone asks him, and watch that interview with Brian Rose, as soon as he asks him, what are the solutions? He kind of hops around that question, and comes back to talking about the great work that he has done, so on and so forth. So David Icke, just like Alex Jones, has been a controlled opposition, if you will. Either they know it or not. They have been a controlled opposition to set in more fear and more panic. I've been talking about this forever. I am tired of seeing people talk about the problem. We know about the problem. Where are the solutions? Solutions are way more important at these times than the problems. Hence, to what I said before, who cares if the virus is real, if it's not real, this and that? I've been asking myself the questions of life and researching the so-called Illuminati deep state for a long time, ever since I was a little kid. I woke up when I was 5 and 6. I woke up more when I was 13, back in 98. But now with YouTube and with countless of theories, we don't know what to listen to. But again, who cares? At this point, we need solutions. half of us, again, as I talked about in one of my videos, half of us are so happy that we are about to end this lockdown, that we can run loose again, while fearing of the next wave and waiting for the vaccine. The other half is angry because we're getting to find out information and we are learning that maybe the government hasn't been as honest with us as we thought. Surprise, surprise. And we're getting angry. We're taking our anger out on those close to us, on the world further. And that is exactly what they wanted us to do. Because if you look at least at the 100-year past history of ours, you will realize this virus and this lockdown wasn't even that bad. About 80 years ago, we went through a world war. It was followed by a first world war. Countless of millions lives lost. You think it was an accident? No. It was a population control war. Hitler and Stalin, friends. They orchestrated this war. The people that were above them commanded them to orchestrate this war the way that they did. Following these wars, numerous wars. If we talk about the world today, there are about 7 to 12 countries that are in active warfare. That's a world war, if you ask me. It takes about 4 countries to be active in war. Now, I know you're going to say, Nas, they have to be world powers, so on and so forth. But still, at the current time, about 12 countries are in the current full blown out war, including where I come from, Ukraine. Brothers are killing brothers. We have about 20,000 abortions in US alone every single day. 20,000 children will never get to see the light of day. Our food has been genetically modified. Genetically modified food completely reconstructs your body physiologically, physically, so on, psychologically. Around 400 girls disappear every single day in US alone. Billions of animals are slaughtered in the most horrendous conditions every single year. Our forests are being chopped down at crazy rates. We give up our lives and our children's lives, starting with school and work and so on and so forth, doing what we hate. Most heart attacks happen on Monday morning because the person is so stressed out going to work. We hate it. And our whole lives just shoots by us, man, like a speeding bullet. More heart attacks happen around Christmas time in first world countries because we're so stressed out that we're not getting the right gift. We have I've been talking about this forever. We have completely surrendered our life. So why would we be surprised that, check this out, where has been the largest death toll reported in the whole world? In Queens, New York. I grew up in Queens, not far from Elmhurst Hospital. In Queens, New York, Think about it. What does corona mean in Latin? Crown. Crown, Queens. There's even a neighborhood, Corona, Queens, not far from Elmhurst Hospital. Now this 5G comes along. We're bugging out. 5G. We have been physiologically affected ever since this electricity has been in power. Electricity, because it is not the right kind of way to have energy. There is clean energy. Tesla talked about Tesla being a Slavic person. He knew the secrets of the Slavic Vedas. CO2 gases, carbon monoxide, everything going into air. Cars, trucks, ships dumping tons of oil into the ocean. For every metric ton of oil that we dig up, we have to put that much amount of fresh drinking water or fresh spring water in order to fill up the hole where oil once was. Water that we will never get back again. While children in most of the African countries are dreaming of water. I talked about this before. Western children were dreaming of toys and all types of, not where because I didn't grow up here, but Western children from first world countries are dreaming of toys and iPads and all kinds of gadgets. Children in most of African countries are dreaming of water. Street children in Ukraine and in Colombia are dreaming of food. While this planet has endless capabilities of providing food. Hunger and poverty are man-made. Doesn't exist. Just like money doesn't exist. Now, David Icke keeps talking about money doesn't exist. Then why, if you go to his site, everything costs money? Why? I have been making videos on my channel for free for years because I put my heart and my soul into it. Not once did I ever ask you guys for likes, for subscribing, for anything. Because I know who I'm supposed to reach, I'm going to reach regardless. And this is why I don't script it. I sit down like this and we talk. Call them the Illuminati, the deep state, the government, the New World Order, whatever you want to call them. Why did I mention this whole Queens and Corona? Because for you to think about, 1 second, for you to think about, is it real? Or are we once again shown signs? You can check the New Testament for Amos 3:7. And remember, they follow the powers that be, even though they're not a power, we are. Remember, the reason why they are showing us what's going to happen before is because they have to go by the book. And in Amos 3:7, it says, surely the Lord God will do nothing before he revealed his secret unto his servants, the prophets. They have to follow this law. That's why in the movies, that's why so-called psychics and so on and so forth, movies, music, etc., etc. They tell us what's going to happen. Just look at the 2011 movie Contagion. They told us what's going to happen. 2015, Bill Gates come out and talks about a coronavirus, which he really patented. Not the vaccine, the virus. We're only talking about vaccination right now. What about the vaccination that has been causing the tremendous health effects on the world population for years now? Years. 1 out of 27 children in America have Down syndrome. Young women in Ukraine can no longer give birth because they were given certain vaccines when they were still little girls. Ireland, France, all over the world. So now we're only screaming, oh my God, what's going on? This is nothing new, nothing new. We have surrendered our power. We have given our rightfully owned power as natural citizens of this planet, and we gave it to 1%. And instead of listening to people like me that are trying to give you answers and solutions, we listen to people like Alex Jones and David Icke. Alex Jones makes $48 million a year. We don't have a pot to piss in that right now, but we send these people and these celebrities money. Money really doesn't exist. At the end of the day, you know why? Because every dollar on earth has blood on it, one way or another. I don't care what excuse you make for it. So either Trump is fighting deep state, or coronavirus doesn't exist, or 5G is causing this. Who cares? We've been coming to this whole time. But let me give you refreshing news. And I also talked about this on my channel a lot. How did we get here? How did we get infiltrated? Because natural humans wouldn't do what we have been led to do. So it must have been that we got infiltrated. In fact, we did get infiltrated. And in fact, it happened around 7,000 years ago when Kali Yuga started. I talk about this. What is Kali Yuga? I'm not talking some metaphysical here. It's a natural process in our universe. Just like this planet is orbiting around the sun is also orbiting around the center of the galaxy. And the galaxy is orbiting around the center of the universe. Now, of course, it's not going in a straight circle. It kind of goes like this, just like planet Earth around the sun. So just like we have changes of year and night and day, the way that it orbits the galaxy around the center of the universe is it's kind of going in and out, in and out. Whenever we get closer to the center of the universe, it's called, in universal terms, daytime. It means we get to the center, everything is more alive, everything is more woke. Think about summertime. But whenever we get further out, it's like wintertime, hence Kali Yuga. Kali, the goddess Kali, in Yuga, winter. What do you know? What we thought was a Hindu term is actually a Slavic term, Kali and Yuga. Self-explanatory. So 7,000 years ago, Kali Yuga started. We got further away from the center of the universe. We went into coma mode, sleep mode. And during that time is when we got infiltrated. I'm not going to go into saying it was reptilians, this and that. Some energy field has infiltrated this planet. Some negative force, and took advantage of us being asleep. But as Apocalypse states, Kali Yuga has ended in our calendar the way we can calculate in 2012. Now, of course, it doesn't mean that 2012 comes and we wake up. The process takes 50 years in order for us to wake up. And whoever infiltrated us knew that their contract is up in 2012. But before they leave, they're going to slam the door when they're leaving. And this is why everything is going on the way it's going on. So what has happened in the past 7,000 years? We've been robbed of our culture, robbed of our language, robbed of our roots, not being able to remember who we are, not being able to communicate to one another properly. We have to interpret such words as love. We have to give it explanation. And if we want to talk about, if we want to explain real love, we have to add the word true in front of it. When love should not be explained, it's a force that should not be explained. It's within us at all times. That's why I made a video called Just Be. Because if you just are, if you just surrender, you don't need to ask questions. You just are. You know what love is. You know what family is. But we lost all these meanings because we lost the roots to who we are. That's why we blindly started destroying this planet, our mother. We blindly started giving up our lives, gaining more and more and more karma while pulling us down. Every time we reincarnate, it's harder and harder for us to make up for that karma. But my brothers and sisters, apocalypse started in 2012. That's why Mandela effect has been happening, so on and so forth. Because the layer, apocalypse meaning the unveiling, the veil between this and other worlds and other dimensions are getting thinner. We are going to be able to see with a much larger spectrum. Before 7,000 years ago, our ancestors, natural to them. They seen into other worlds. They seen into other dimensions. They seen into past lives. Why did they come to this life? To enjoy the beauties of the right now, of this material world. To watch a sunrise. To watch a loved one's eyes open. Smiles happen. Everything that was metaphysical was normal to them. Everything that was normal was metaphysical. I also talk about this in one of my videos. So we are slowly coming back to this time. I remember in 98, I couldn't talk to anybody about these things. I was a kid. I couldn't find anybody to talk to about this. All of a sudden, 2010, 2012, 2015, more and more people, countless of theories on YouTube. Going back to the whole coronavirus, not only David Icke, but experts from around the world are saying that hospitals are empty. Have we been fooled? We've been fooled, but who cares? Again, who cares? We have been fooled for much longer. Now, even though Kali Yuga has ended and we are about to regain our power, we have to claim that power. 2020 and 2021 will be deciding year who stays and who goes forever. They talk about the golden million, 140,000 people. 140,000 people only pertains to the Jews. The golden billion is who most likely will remain. That's why pay attention. 2020, you will see if you were a negative person, you will be more negative. If you were more positive, you will be more positive. The truth will come out. Deciding years, 2020, 2021. So I bring to you good news. We are about to gain our power back. The forces that infiltrated us are leaving, but they are slamming the door. And only the chosen will remain. You have to choose which color of chess you're going to play with, the white or the black. Just like we chose once before when we came into this material world. I never asked you guys for this, but today I created a GoFundMe page. A GoFundMe that will look out for the older folks in our communities, the older folks that have been forgotten, abandoned, in nursing homes. It's like we don't care about them anymore. I will leave a link in the description. If you guys can help me out, help those people out, so we can bring them better organic food, so we can bring them exercising materials, so we can motivate and talk to them to actually go outside and not give up on their lives, that they can choose how long they can live. I also started a Patreon where every single dollar, every single cent will go back into the movement, where I will show you how you can eat better. A lot of you don't know this about me, but I was a fighter for most of my life. I was a boxer for most of my life. I could show you what kind of food will give you the proper prana, the proper life force. What kind of food you should stay away to. How to identify if it's GMO, if it's not GMO. How to see if a food is charged with prana. How to defend yourself. I will show you all these things on my Patreon. Link will be in the description. I'm not asking for anything for myself. I'm asking for right now, instead of buying David Icke's movies about him, let's put our efforts to coming back to natural living and creating our own movement that will wake up more people, but not only wake them up, but will create solutions. One solution, as our ancestors have said, as I have talked about on this channel for all these years, is we are the powerful. We have the engineers, the teachers, the technicians, the prophets, the everybody, we are the people. Construction, so on and so forth, poets, writers, that's us. We don't need anyone else to dictate our life. And instead of having a world with currency that is not backed up by anything, imagine a world where we lived, where everyone would live to fulfill our potential to the highest of our ability. If we could have equal trade for what our life mission truly is, bettering ourselves every single day. In the Vedas, it says that a community of more than 10,000 people, the earth cannot sustain such a community. Hence, we are seeing today cities being most affected by this 5G slash coronavirus. People don't have ways to breathe. Their lungs are collapsing. Are we surprised that cities have been so polluted? Think about it this way. We know that a man-made lake will have fish that, instead of naturally growing the fish has been grown with chemicals. So they put these little fish in a pond or a little man-made lake, and they feed it with these chemical pills. Hence, The fish starts growing and blowing up to disproportions. What do you think happens to that lake? The whole lake gets contaminated. That lake is no longer able to sustain that life. What do you think happens to a city with human beings that have been grown on genetically modified organisms they call food? That environment can no longer naturally sustain itself. People go crazy. And if they don't go crazy, they don't live that long. And if they don't live that long, or if they live that long, they are not healthy. I always say it's better to live a short life but be healthy than to live a long life and suffer. We have to learn again how to communicate with one another. We have to learn again that every race on this planet has a place to be, that we all play a role, just like organs play in our organism, that we are one unit. One cannot be without the other. A friend of mine, Ace, he talked about Africa one day maybe uniting and competing on the world stage. I say, why would you want to compete on the world stage? If Africa were to unite, you could create your own economy within that continent and compete friendly amongst one another. You will ask me, Nas, what about, we need vegetables and everything. Think about it. Think about this. Why do you think there are only certain fruits and vegetables that grow on certain continents? Did planet Earth make a mistake? No. Because if you are from Africa, North, South, Central Africa, different countries, you are supposed to be eating the food that you can actually harvest in that area of the world. That goes for Slavic nations, Western European, North American, South American. Look at everything that's happening now. We import and export, and we are getting more and more sick every single year. We have to cut off all the medications that they imposed on us. It doesn't work. We're getting more sick again. We're getting more sick every single year. Children have cancer, and the numbers are rising. We have to change the way we eat, change the way we think, change the way we treat one another. Instead of, I talk about this all the time, instead of taking advice from somebody that we have never seen, go and ask your child. When this vaccine rolls around, go up to your child and ask them, would you like to take this vaccine? And if they say, I don't know what a vaccine is, would you like to get a shot into your arm and into your behind? They will give you the right answer. We have to educate our children how to treat themselves, how to love themselves. They will better treat and love others. Further in the future, I want to start a program where we will educate especially young girls on how to love themselves, because these days young girls are falling prey to child predators online because of lack of self-love and lack of respect and what they see on in mass media, the images that they are shown. Boys, we should teach boys how to treat these young girls after respecting and loving themselves and gaining the self-confidence that they need and being real protectors of their family and their land. So once again, join me on this fundraiser for the older generation that were forgotten. Let them know that you have not forgotten. Even if you donate $1, $2, whatever it is, we will be able to bring them fresh food, organic food, exercising materials. Let them know that they can live as long as they want and feel great. My mother is the prime example of this. She's about to be 64. She looks like she's in her 30s. She says she feels like she's 16. And if you question that, if you think you have a greater stamina than her, then I dare you to challenge her to go for a 5 mile run. She will beat your behind. I guarantee it. She was able to stop and quit blood pressure medicine when every doctor said it couldn't be done. She did it. So these methods work. When we together go to these nursing homes and nursing home facilities, I will document every smile, every reaction of these people. And we will keep track of it week by week for the progress that they have made. Again, on my Patreon, we will build a community of great minds alike to further this movement, the movement that I started with my music and with this channel years prior. We will be able to have a personal conversations. I will call you a video or on a phone, whatever it is, whatever questions, whatever advice you need. The young and the old, I'll be there. It's hard times, but we're gonna get through this because we are the ones in power. God is on our side. Good will always prevail. Life will always beat death. Before I go on any further, I guess that's all I had to say. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you for being a subscriber. Thank you for listening to the music. Another song comes out today. I really appreciate it. Much love to my beautiful wife. Check out her poetry. Link will also be in the description. Go to that GoFundMe. Go to that Patreon. We are starting to rebuild our future right now. We are starting to regain our power, our planet, our home back right now. Even if you have watched this video, even if you leave a comment, you're already doing something. I keep telling you guys that. So in the future, we'll be able to look at our great grandkids and grandkids in the eyes with no shame. All right, you guys, this was proof to me that you're alive. Nazarene, much love. Uno. I'm about to turn it off.